Coming to you live from Geekly Studios in DeSoto, Texas. Live from Geekly's Esports Studios in DeSoto, Texas. King David Reeves and the MentorConnector podcast present another mentor moment. Great day, great mentors. Rise and grind. It's time to shine. Welcome to another special episode of the MentorConnector podcast here on the Geekly's Esports Masterclass. I am your host, King David Reeves, and I have a very special guest with us today who has a great event coming up tomorrow to celebrate our seniors who are graduating. And I definitely want him to come on and tell you all about it, how even during all these tough times with turmoil going on, we still need to celebrate those students who are graduating. This brother here is the national vice president and a city leader for Dallas at the All-Stars Project of Dallas. And he is a nationally acclaimed, yeah, I said it, nationally acclaimed DJ, ladies and gentlemen. You might have seen him in a few places, but he's definitely playing all over the nation. But that's his side hustle, so we won't belabor that point. But he is doing big things in the community and has been doing it for decades now, and he's doing it in a way that other people only wish they knew how to do. So we're here to pick his brain and figure out how we can truly impact and bridge the gap in the community with grassroots efforts. So, ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, welcome to the show, my brother and friend, Mr. Antoine, Joyce, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. Mr. King David Reeves, my boy, my brother.
Hey,
you know, how's my goddaughter, man? How's my goddaughter?
Hey, man, she's doing great, man. She's doing great, man. She's getting into a lot of things though, but you know, that's what they say babies are supposed to do. That's what they say.
That's what they're supposed to do, man. You know,
so,
that's how they learn. That's how we learn.
Yeah, they're grown, man. How are your kids, man?
My kid, it's a lot to say about that. I'll just say my kids are healthy. They're good. Shout out to my son. My son has, you know, we had a lot of talks about the current state of affairs. So he's been holding, and love him dearly. And I got, you know, I'll be honest. My daughter's turning 14 in a couple of weeks, and I'm here in Dallas. She's in New York. We don't get to see each other a lot or talk a lot, and there's a lot to build upon and repair there. So there's a lot to say there, man. But she's good. I talked to her mother yesterday, and you know, she's good. She's graduated from middle school and going to high school soon.
Hey,
so
man, congratulations,
very proud of that,
man.
Yeah.
Shout out to my goddaughter. She's at that age, man, where they tell us, and that's what I don't look forward to. It's daddy's girl all the way up into those teenage years, and then they want to talk to mama about everything, especially boys.
She's always been a mama's girl, you know what I'm saying? So that, you know, but it's all good. It's all good, man. She's great.
Good.
Thank you.
You're a great dad, man, and a great leader of a lot of other people's kids too, man. So shout out to the great work you do with All Stars Project.
Thank you.
And you lead in such an impressive way that it's always blown my mind how you can be so authentically. Look, I can't even get it out, so I don't know how you do it. So authentically and genuinely yourself in a leadership position like you've been afforded and been blessed with the opportunity to serve your community. And I really respect and admire you as a person, as a leader, as a father, as a soon-to-be. Well, let me not spill no beans, man. Let me not spill no. You know, we're not gonna. I'm not gonna drop bombs on people like that. Just stay tuned, people. Just stay tuned. But just know, overall, I look up to you as a mentor, definitely. So I want to bring you on and have you share with the people how they can better impact their communities, how they can get involved in the grassroots areas that aren't just what we typically get into, like I see right now, a lot of protests going on.
Yeah.
But, that's good. I'm not opposed to it, but there's so many ways that you can get involved with your community before it escalates to this point where we're at now. And
there is.
There are also ways to stay involved, and I think people need to know that. So I want you to share that with the people, but let them know about your opportunity coming up. And at first, just start off by telling us who you are, man, and where you come from, and how'd you get to where you are today, brother.
Yeah, thanks, David, man. I mean, and I appreciate you. And again, for those who don't know, man, David calls me authentic, and he's true to the bone. You know what I'm saying? Who you see is what you get every single day. I think I don't know if you experienced this, but I think our connection grew. I was out doing some community work, doing our community outreach work, door knocking, and my office was at the First Presbyterian Church at the time.
Yeah.
And I came back on a Saturday to kind of finish up some stuff. It's like 2:00 in the afternoon and down a block. It's the stew pot. And
oh yeah,
I was passing by my car, and David was out there with like 2 other people handing out, giving food to the homeless.
Oh man, yeah.
And I was like,
you were on your way to the airport, I remember.
All right.
He stopped for little old me, man, on his way to the airport. We're gonna run late to his flight because he wanted to tell me what's up.
I mean, I was impressed. Impressed is not the word. I was, I navigate to leadership that's on the ground. That's just kind of person I am.
Absolutely.
I like to be on the ground, and I was told recently, and I agree that sometimes when you get into certain leadership positions, sometimes you can't be as close to the ground as you used to be. And I hear that, that's just the nature of growing and leading. And when you get to a certain leadership position, you're on a new stage. We talk about performance a lot in the All-Stars. So I've definitely have been on a lot of different stages, and this is a new one for me as a vice president of an organization, a national organization. But
congratulations, by the way, brother.
Appreciate that, man. Thank you.
Big deal, man. Not to take that lightly, and well deserved and earned as well.
Thank you.
And also shout out to Faith Walker's Charities and Where Are You Outreach Homeless Ministries. That's who I was serving with when you ran into me up there next to the stew pot. And they doing great work out in the community and consistently serving people who need it most, man. So, and I appreciate you letting me know, because you took the time to stop by on your way to the airport, man. I was like, man, this is a real brother. Because you could have just passed by and be like, oh, Dave, that's Dave. But now he passed by, he stopped, we had a whole conversation. I remember that vividly.
I'm surprised you remember that. I didn't even remember that, but
yeah, man, it meant a lot to me too, because I was like, okay, yeah, it's not the right people will notice. It's not about drawing out the masses. It's about bringing the right quality people to the table,
right?
Who are true servant leaders like yourself, man. And
well, that goes to your question, man. Is like, so I get a lot of, let's just talk candidly, I get a lot of shine as the city leader of Dallas.
Well deserved.
No, thank you. And there's so much that I do, that you do, that others do, that don't get any light. And so when you ask how do people get involved, I mean, you just start. There really is no how, right? You walk out your door. You find something that you're passionate about, and you go. We're blessed to have the technology of today where we can go online and Google something that we're passionate about,
right?
And
be able to get involved
and just do it, right? Exactly. Yeah. So, some of my best volunteers, some of my volunteers that have come out. I was like, how'd you find us at the All-Stars? They go, I just Googled volunteering, and your name popped up. Your name popped up, and I saw it online, and it sounds like something good to do, and so I did it. And I said, okay, cool.
You're doing the work, man. Your name is synonymous with volunteering. And y'all have some great volunteers too, man.
Thank you. Yeah.
And having been one before, y'all do a great job taking care of them and allowing them to get involved and truly feel like, they're making a difference in the work and in the community when they serve with you. So,
well, our organization, was built on volunteers. Before there was any staff member, people wanted to make a difference. Not unlike, not unlike, but just like where we are today, it was a group of activists, a group of people who just wanted to make a difference in the world, and they were searching for places to do that. They've come to find like-minded people to create something, and they did it just out of passion. So when I think about all the activity, the protests, the organizing, the coming together, I do get hopeful for the next years, because our organization was built out of that 40 years ago, 40 you can almost say 60 years ago.
Wow.
And somebody's right now is going to create the next great organization that takes us to the next level of our society. So that's happening right now, and we don't even know it. Somebody's out there, but you don't have to get started in anything for the recognition, for the light. Just get out there. I'm a true believer that if every person just did one great thing, one kind thing to one other person, everyone would change this world.
Absolutely, bro. And you're a prime example of that, man. And the shine will come. You're also a prime example of that. Because, man, you're getting recognized by a lot of the leaders and, I say, successful and wealthy people, well-known people around the city that people probably wouldn't even know you were connected with or guess that you were connected with. And it's simply impressive, man. But it's the most impressive part of it is that it's not because you were out looking for the shine, not because you were out trying to become famous or wealthy. It's because you were doing the work in the community. You were at the grassroots level doing what you were supposed to be doing, man. And can you take us into your background to let the people know how did you become that type of person? Like, what was your upbringing look like to even make you the kind of person that could be this type of leader for All Stars Project?
Yeah. How much time we got?
Where you from, man? I'll make it simple. Where you from, brother?
Yeah, I got you. No, so I'm from Brooklyn, New York. I'm from Brooklyn, a neighborhood of Brooklyn called Bed-Stuy. So everybody heard of Bedford-Stuyvesant,
Okay, I always say Bedford-Stuyvesant. I didn't know that's how
if you want
pronounce it. I ain't trying to get shot over there.
No, man.
Bedford-Stuyvesant. I got you.
Yeah, so just listen to Biggie, live from Bedford-Stuyvesant, the livest one, representing BK to the fullest.
You got hip hop all in you, man.
So that's my neighborhood, and I didn't know until I was like into my 20s that I grew up poor, right? Because I'm a 77 baby. Started really understanding something about the world in the 80s, started going out in the world in the 90s. And everyone in my neighborhood, everyone in my surroundings lived like I lived. So if I went to a family's house, I had families who lived in the projects of New York, and you went from one auntie house to another auntie house in the projects, and it's just kind of like that's what it is.
It's just what it was.
My mother, when I was about 12 years old, my mother raised 4 boys in a 2-bedroom apartment.
Man.
700 square feet. If everybody remember DuckTales, they had the triple bunks. We had a triple bunk.
Living a good life. Jump down land on top of each other.
Yeah. When I went to bed at night, if I couldn't sit up because that's the ceiling. So it was just for sleeping. And even when we upgraded, my mom, and I just realized this in Dallas, the importance of this. My mother got her associate's degree at Medgar Evers College in New York, and she was able to get a job working for the city, giving welfare benefits. So we went off of we were on welfare, and now she was providing welfare benefits. But so we was able to move to another neighborhood, another area, and get to a 3-bedroom apartment. I got my first bedroom.
Nice. Got your own.
But hey, I still lived with a lot of roaches. And
so y'all were roommates and
yeah, man,
and everything.
Exactly. A lot of mice in my years and so
you didn't
forth.
grow up right if you weren't raised with roaches and mice.
And that's what I knew.
So what is it? Grew up in the project, roaches and rats.
Right. Yeah,
that's Marcy Project. I guess that's Bed-Stuy too, right? Down the street.
Marcy's in Bed-Stuy, so I live a couple of miles from there. But so long story short, man, that was my life for a long time, and I was just talking to someone today. My cousin joined a dance group. Him and his friends created a dance group out of Roosevelt Projects, RV Projects, Six Build. Shout out, to Lewis Ave. And I can't even tell you why they started dancing. They just started dancing one day. And they would go to talent shows all over Brooklyn, and I would go see the talent shows. And I was just amazed by the energy that was happening in these events, to the point that I just had to be there. So I was their lackey. Would you believe that? So they were the stars back then. I carried their clothes, their costumes.
Nice.
I was the water.
Start somewhere.
Man. And I love being a roadie, man. I was a water boy. You know what I'm saying? So whatever they needed, that's what I did. And the funny thing was, I'm the guy. And the funny thing was, I was the hype man. The funny thing was, after years of watching them, I picked up the dances. And and
people missed it.
Yeah, luckily for me, they invited me to dance with them, and that's what led my journey into just doing more. I will keep going to shows, and then one day I'm at the show, and the director of programs made a passionate statement on stage. She said, I'm looking for youth leaders, and I don't think I've ever heard anyone talk like that before. Talk about youth leaders. In my neighborhood.
I was gonna say, like, putting the two together, like, almost like youth aren't usually seen as leaders, or not seen enough as in that light.
Right, at least not in my neighborhood. No one ever said that to me, and I signed up to be a youth leader. I didn't know what it was, and I showed up at a meeting one day. And first thing she said was, "You're a producer of the show." And I'm like, I didn't produce anything. Like, I just showed up. 2 years ago I was carrying my cousin's costumes, and now you talk about I'm a producer and a leader. Like, but that changed my life, because basically what she said was, what she meant by that was, by you showing up. By you and your friends inviting people to a show, by you just showing up today and saying that you want to be a youth leader, that's leadership. So a lot of times we're looking to we overcomplicate it. Leadership is not me here talking on a microphone or getting in front of a news camera, or leadership is just stepping out and showing up. Everyone standing outside. Yeah. I driving down Beltline here, and we're in DeSoto, so we're 30 minutes from Dallas, and all down Beltline, blocks and blocks and blocks and blocks and blocks of people just standing outside. I didn't see one news camera here in DeSoto, but they are just as much leaders as everyone else that's being shown on TV around the country.
Everyone else.
This is happening everywhere. So that's what the leadership is, and that's how I got my start.
Even when the cameras aren't present, yes, sir.
Even when the cameras are not present, that's how I started.
So you started by leading as a youth, even when the cameras weren't present, and that's what ultimately catapulted you into the spotlight. And I'm guessing also your opportunity with Grandmaster Flash, which, if you don't mind, go into that briefly. But I also want to clarify your youth leadership opportunity, where she made you a producer. Was that your start with the All Stars project as well?
So I was already performing in the talent shows by that time, and did some.
So explain the talent show for people who aren't familiar, because I know what you're referring to. But.
Yeah. So our flagship program, our first program, is called the All Stars Talent Show Network. Young people. It's very simple. I love it. I love the simplicity because it allows young people to be involved in positive community building. So we do community outreach in neighborhoods across the country. We knock on doors. We stand on street corners. We go into the poorest neighborhoods, the poorest schools, and we ask young people to come out and be a part of a talent show. And you can be a part of talent shows a number of ways. You can perform. You can join the volunteer team and produce the shows like I did. You can come and be an audience member and support everything happening on stage. So no matter if a young person like, I don't dance, okay, great. Can you put your hands together? Then you can come. Bam. And that's leadership. Yeah. You know, yes, it's learning how to support someone on stage is a form of activism, a form of leadership that many people take for granted. So
most definitely.
So yes, I was.
But all that is what All Stars Project has been doing. And so that's what they were doing when you were growing up. Is that how you found your way to them? Did they help you out growing up?
Yeah, exactly. You know, somebody pointed them to a talent show, and that's where we went. And again, I got that. I seen that. I heard that ask on stage. I showed up at another meeting, and the key that the All Stars is we keep asking. We'll keep asking. We'll keep asking for you to do more. So we keep making offers. So if you think about improv, we do a lot of improv in the All Stars. We use performance as a tool to help young people develop and grow. And in improv, it's all about making offers, right? When you're on stage, someone says, "Hey, the wind is blowing really hard today," right? And you're inside a theater. If I said, "No, David, there ain't no wind blowing. We're inside a theater," it's like I just dismissed your offer. I just said no to you.
Completely down. Yeah.
Right.
You're not going along with it.
Right. So I could say, "Yeah, this is really blowing," you know, and
right.
and it brings everybody in. And that's what building is. So someone made an offer to me, and I said yes. And one offer took me to another opportunity. And then someone said, "Here's another offer." And then that took me to another opportunity. And then someone gave me another offer, and it took me another opportunity. And
you kept building all along.
So yeah, if you fast forward, that's where I got now. You know, even Dallas, we were growing nationally, and there was an offer made for me to come to Dallas. And I said yes. And look, I'm not saying that you can say yes to every offer. Sometimes there's some bad offers out there. But the people that was giving me the offers were people who were my mentors, who was my leadership, and I trusted. Right. Yeah. So I can say yes to their offers because I know they had my best interest in heart.
And they had been mentoring you through the All Stars Project growing up?
Yes, sir.
Wow. And that's powerful. And you've been impacted or a part of the All Stars Project since I think I read somewhere since 91?
91, yeah.
Man, dude.
Yeah.
So you truly are the prime example of how effective your organization is.
I'm very
success story, brother.
Yeah. I'm a prime example. I'm not the, I'm a. because
like
there's thousands of me's out there. Again,
That's
they
powerful.
not all of them in front of the cameras all the time, but man, thousands of young people out there who are doing some amazing things in their communities that I grew up with. And I'm talking about their teachers, their lawyers, their dance instructors, their bus drivers, their police officers, their man, thousands, man.
So it's not just kids who are interested in the entertainment industry.
No, man, no. I mean, the talent show, and I learned this as I was in the shows. I learned this very late. And when it hit me, I was like, oh, the talent show is just a gateway to bring the masses in to again learn some simple things of appreciation, to build confidence. How many young people don't have the opportunities to get on a stage and to be applauded? Because we're in communities where we're told to shut up. We're told to be quiet, sit down. We're told that we're not smart enough. And constantly, right? We're not applauded for it. So you become a certain age, and then you're like, the world don't want me. I've been stepped on for years, and then we ask for people to be leaders, right? So the All-Stars,
great point.
The whole premise is applaud for everything on stage, whether you agree with it or not, right? It's you can applaud young people, and you see young people explode. Like, they'll get up there and they'll be shy and they'll sing very quietly. And some people, they'll start applauding with clapping. They're like, I know that song. I know Little Mermaid. And they're like, and their mind starts going, they know Little Mermaid? They sing a Little Mermaid? Oh, okay.
They feeling me.
Right. Okay. And you just like I did, you see their heads
like
standing up. Yeah. And it's like, okay. And they take a bow, and people stand up, and they're like, oh, hey, great.
Do it again.
That's powerful. And, man, it is. It's so small a gesture, and it's so powerful how young people experience it. And I've seen it over and over again. So to talk about Flash.
Yeah, man.
Talk about Flash real quick.
For those who aren't familiar, man, the legend in hip hop.
Yeah. So Flash was a mentor to my cousin, who was a DJ, who is a DJ, not was. Shout out to
nationally acclaimed like yourself.
I am not nationally acclaimed. He definitely is.
Nice.
Shout out to DJ Demo. So if here's the funny thing I just realized, right? At every start of my career, I started at the bottom. So Demo was the DJ, I was his roadie. And I loved it. And I loved carrying his crates, and I loved going to the clubs and everything and watching him. And one day it clicked for me that what I do in the talent shows relates to what I do in the clubs. I'm like, oh, I understand RCA wires and XLR cables, and I can plug. I was like, teach me how you plug your turntables up, because he was the celebrity then. He worked for a radio station in New York City, and I was like, let me be the guy that sets you up, so when you walk in, you can talk to your guests, to the people who want to talk to you. You shouldn't be setting things up. And one day he trusted me to do that, and that started my career as a tech for a DJ. So I worked with him for 6 years, and he went on tour with Grandmaster Flash, who was his mentor. And again, taking all the knowledge I have from working with him and seeing Grandmaster Flash play, one day I was like, hey, Flash, man, I would love to see you do this with your show. And Flash looked at me, and again, he's somebody I trusted. He gave me an opportunity that I said yes to travel the world with him and to be a techie. And look, nice. I carry Grandmaster Flash's records, man. I'm proud to say that I'm along a bunch of guys in his career, and I'm one of those dudes that carried his records around the world, man. There's nothing that will ever take that experience away. It was amazing.
Yeah, it's got to be a great experience, man. And,
Yeah, man.
And so you're internationally acclaimed tour manager.
I was thinking
guy.
I was a tech guy, and it was so much fun. I did it for
Aspiring
3 years.
DJ at that point.
Yeah.
Okay.
You know.
And so how did you go from that? Because I can imagine how exciting and enthralling that just adrenaline rush would be, being on tour, seeing how live the fans get, and how much energy is always around, and all those experiences. How do you go from that to transition into the nonprofit world, man? Why did you choose to leave?
So very, and this is like so true. Every time I will come back from tour, you know, we'll be in Hong Kong, and Flash played a club in Hong Kong, and Naomi Campbell came to the club and was dancing on stage next to me, and I'm like
supermodel Naomi,
right,
Campbell, supermodel,
right,
on stage dancing, just
right,
next to
just chilling, just like, hey, you want a drink? I'm like, yeah, it's cool, we partying. Like, I'm dancing with Naomi Campbell. Good.
Yeah, Naomi.
Right.
Like,
we had dinner.
Basis.
Right. We had dinner in Australia.
Oh,
and
the usual.
The usual, right? And we in this restaurant that's like a road turn here, small, whatever. Like, I'm in nowhere land on the other side of the world, man. And I turn around, I'm like, Stone Cold? Hey, man, how you doing? I'm like, you're Stone Cold Steve Austin.
Steve Austin.
Like,
in Australia. The great down under.
It's crazy.
Stone Cold Steve Austin.
Right.
Wow.
And then we'll do a show. We'll do a show in front of 10,000 people. He's on stage. I'm the tech guy. Nobody sees me, but I'm the guy that starts the show. And again, that feeling of 10,000 people yelling his name, waiting for me to start the lights and the cue that helps them, that starts the music, right? And I'm like just waiting, because I'm like, the longer I wait, the louder they scream, and I'm like, hey.
Anticipation.
But we'll finish the show. I'll get upgraded to first class, and I'll fly back on a plane first class back to Brooklyn. And what I seen in Brooklyn was there's still a burnt down house on the corner. There's still a drug dealer down the block. And I was walking in Brooklyn one day, and a kid was yelling like, yo. And you know, when you're from Brooklyn, you put your tough performance on. You like, yo, who's calling me? Because when I was growing up, if somebody was yelling for you, they was ready to kind of thump. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And
kids call scratch these days.
Right. So I'm ready to turn around and be like, all right. And he goes, you're the talent show guy.
Completely different than what you expected. Completely.
Yeah. And this kid told me the story of how the job he was working at, he got that job because he got confidence from performing in a talent show that I emceed.
Wow. That's powerful.
2 weeks later, I'm on a train, and a kid jumped off the train because he saw me walking on the platform to tell me that his life was changed by what we were doing at the All-Stars.
Wow.
And then young people just started inviting me to shows. They were putting on their own talent shows, their own dance things. They were, I had friends who were dancing with Prince.
Purple Rain.
Yeah, man. I have
from talent show to Prince.
One of my friends who was in our other program, Development School for Youth. I knew her when she was like 15, 16, and when I moved to Dallas, by the time I moved to Dallas, she was dancing for Ariana Grande.
That is insane.
Right. So, and there's thousands of me's, there's thousands of stories like that. So,
and these are people you're talking about that came through the program with you as well, or that you knew of while you were working with.
Yeah.
Wow.
So those stories in other circumstances of just wanting to feel that I was giving back. As much as I love working with Flash and I love doing that work, I've always had this experience that no one walked up to me and said, "Hey, you changed my life from a concert."
Ooh,
and look,
powerful.
I've had some, I had some experiences at concerts that changed my life, but it was an addition to, and I was like, this is my calling. So I wanted to come back. I wanted to be that difference. I wanted to make opportunity for other young people. So there you go. So that's how I came back.
Came back, create that lane, and then you continue to make opportunities for young people to thrive and to open up and express themselves and their creativity, man. And you do it. It seems effortlessly, but I on the surface, but I see you behind the scenes, man. And so I know you're grinding and putting in a lot of work, and from these partnerships with just different strategic partners to the people in the communities, man. It seems like the work is nonstop for what you're doing, man. So definitely take my hat off to you, brother.
Thank you, man.
Keep doing a great job, and it seems like I know I was reading some things that were just saying like how you've taken the organization to a nationally recognized level when it comes to bridge building in communities at a grassroots level.
Yeah.
And strategically partnering with those communities or organizations within those communities.
Yeah.
So, okay,
Yeah,
so that's true. I read the right thing.
No, yeah. Sorry, we started in New York City. We're now in Newark, New Jersey, Jersey City, Chicago, San Francisco, and I'm here in Dallas. And we have alliance cities that do work with us. So some of our alliance cities are in Greensboro, North Carolina, and Denver, Atlanta. We have friends producing work like this, talent shows on London.
Man.
All over the world, man.
Yeah, literally, man. Yeah, and I saw the talent show that you didn't invite me to, man. I missed that one with Wild 'N Out and whatnot. I need to be at the next one. That's all I'm saying, man. That's all I'm saying. I just
well, we're gonna be doing some virtual talent shows coming up soon. So stay on the lookout for that.
Amen. Okay, I'm definitely excited about that. And so is what you're doing tomorrow evening a segue to the virtual talent shows you'll be doing during the summer? Is it?
Maybe you could say that. Tomorrow, I'll tell you the lineage of how that started, right?
Yes, please.
So we're in a pandemic. We're social distancing. Even us right now, you're in a whole other room, right?
Yeah.
Right. And I too was watching our young people who were wanting to, wanted to have a graduation and they couldn't, or just missing their friends. I was leading one of our programs here, and the young people kept saying, "I just miss seeing people. I miss the connection. I just miss," and I have this skill that again my cousin taught me of DJing. And I do a lot of private parties for people who ask me and say, "Hey, can you DJ this?" Because I feel like I'm a decent enough DJ that I can bring some joy to people. So I'm not trying to be
do that, man. You do it well, and you can play. I feel like all genres and different generations of music.
Again, I learned from some good. Hey, I was on tour with Flash for 3 years, and I learned a lot watching him, man. So
yeah, he's truly a grand master. So I can only imagine what all lessons you learned from him. That we got to bring you back for. That's a whole nother episode in and of itself, man.
Yeah.
I want to know those secrets, man. But yeah, no.
You got to watch him. You got to get him on one day. But
hey, man, I'm gonna let you connect me. But he's being modest, y'all. He's cold. My brother's a cold DJ, man.
Thank you,
Antoine,
man.
I'm not gonna give out his DJ name, man. But just know, look up Antoine Joyce. You can probably Google it.
So I'm sitting at home, and I was watching the graduate together, celebrate together, the wonderful graduation that Michael Sorrell and Paul Quinn called together with the HBCUs, and I was like, well, if we could do a virtual graduation, like, can we do a virtual prom? And I was working on that with some of my DJ partners in New York City, and they was giving me different tips and tools to figure it out, how to do a virtual DJ. And I called one of my DJ partners here in Dallas, and I was like, how do we do this? And one of our partnerships in Dallas is with Pastor Richie Butler, St. Paul United Methodist Church, and he asked me to DJ a Zoom party for his church. So again, I called my DJs and I was like, I gotta do the Zoom party. And for like nights, I was testing things out on Zoom with all my partners and everything. And then one day it clicked, we figured it out, and I was like, we got it. So we did the party, and I was like, can we do this? Can we do this for all the graduates?
Yeah.
So a friend of mine at Dallas County Promise, Eric Band,
Eric.
was texting me, and I was like, Eric, man, like, can we figure this out? And there you go. There you have it. Eric said, let's pull the trigger. I brought my resources with the All-Stars to the table. I brought my resources in the DJ community to the table.
Yeah,
I called,
which is important. Shout out. I saw you got DJ Chaotic.
I called Chaotic. I said, Chaotic, man, and can we do something for the young people? He's like,
cool.
Done deal. Like, beautiful, that's a good brother. Check him out. He goes live every Saturday. He does a Saturday prayer for everyone every Saturday. Check him out.
Oh, beautiful. Shout out DJ doing it big and nice and on the beat.
Yeah. And that's how it came together. So tomorrow night, Friday, 6 p.m., we're going to have a virtual dance party. And again, it started.
Come ready to dance, people. Come ready.
Yeah, man. Yeah. It started as a party for graduates, but now it's a place where, if tomorrow is a place where you want to take some time to continue celebrating the life that we all still enjoy, to celebrate
It's very much needed right now.
Yeah, celebrate the accomplishments of our young people.
Yes, sir.
To just have a moment. I'm not saying that this is more important than anything that's happening in the world right now.
No.
But I thought about canceling it, and many people like you also have said,
man,
some people need some joy as well.
Yeah, we need this right
even
now.
even through the pain.
Yeah, because we got to smile through the pain, laugh through the pain. Might as well dance through the pain, man.
Yeah.
And I think it's a beautiful idea. And you didn't mention the fact that you're giving away scholarships. So that's something else that'll bring some smiles to many a student's face.
Yeah, so again, Dallas County Promise is a partner, and if you don't know what Dallas County Promise is, it's a ecosystem to support our high school seniors to have opportunity to go to college for free. Yeah. So look up Dallas County Promise, and so tomorrow we got Dallas Colleges, formerly DCCCD, Texas Women University. I'm forgetting one more. I'm so sorry. Who's also joining us, and we're going to do breakout rooms. So if you want to come dance a little bit, you want to learn about college, have that opportunity to talk to a college advisor who goes to one of those schools, you can join on and go to a breakout room. And then I was like, well, Communities Foundation of Texas joined us as well, and said, hey, we'll provide some scholarship funds. So we're going to give away over $3,000 worth of scholarship funds tomorrow. So, micro scholarships, help with some books, or help with some food.
That makes micro scholarships will make a big difference, a macro difference.
Yeah,
so,
right.
Man,
yeah.
Shout out, man. That's good work, brother. And thank you for putting that together for our students. It's beautiful,
thank you,
man. And I know a lot of our EIF students will be happy to dance their way into some scholarships potentially.
Yeah.
So
and we got more surprises. We got some celebrities who popped in. So shout out to Nancy Lieberman.
Nice.
Shout out to former Cowboy Timmy Newson. Shout out to Milwaukee Buck legend, Hall of Famer as well. Sidney Moncrief. Dallas Maverick announcer Chris Arnold shouting us out. We got the president of the Dallas Regional Chamber. You know, I mean, it's.
Yeah, I mean, you come through with a heavy hit. A lot of people support you in everything you do, man. So,
yeah, man,
no surprise
big.
there, man. And
It's
so
big, man.
I'm glad I could be one of those supporting you as well in this.
You too, man. MentorConnector, man.
Hey,
you
man.
are. Thank you.
Hey, man, I appreciate you, brother, and thank you for coming on the show. Not only sharing this great opportunity with us, but your story, man. And just, I know it's a little bit of your story, but it's powerful how you are the one of the prime examples, or many examples from the powerful work that All Stars Project does nationally, man. And I thank you for being a torchbearer for that. I salute you for that, and please continue to let me know however I can support you
always
in your efforts, man.
And let me just tell people how they can go to the dance party tomorrow. I mean, one, you can either go to our website, www.allstars.org. You can find the information there. You can go to our Facebook page as well, All Stars Project Dallas, or just go tinyurl.com, Dallas 2020 Dance. So just do that, or shout out to my DJ company partner, the American DJ Company. Shout out to Edelman, who's been reaching out and doing a lot of the PR on this and so forth. So thanks, everybody. Yeah, man.
And how can they follow you if they want to get in touch with you, Antoine, Joyce, the man?
Yeah, again, you can just go to the website, www.allstars.org. Find me there. ajoyce@allstars.org is my email. I'm on Instagram, Twitter, @Diddy of Development.
Yes, sir.
So
he is the Diddy of Development, people. you know it when you see it. When you just come to one of his events, man. He truly is, man. Doing a great job, brother. And
appreciate
lastly, man, two bonus questions.
Okay.
Since
real quick.
we are on the Mentor Connector podcast, of course, I got to ask you, man, who is one mentor or a few mentors that have impacted you in your life to mold you into the man you are today, the successful brother you are?
Yeah. So one of my I have a lot. So I feel like it's a setup question, like
no
saying.
pressure. Just one.
I mean, but the entire All Stars community has been a mentor. But so a woman named by Pam Lewis has been a very big impact in my life. She's been in my life since I was 13 years old. Oh, wow. And so she was the one that made that statement on stage of youth leadership. Yeah. And again, starting from there, and then many other people have plugged in since and given me a lot in a lot of different ways. But
So mentors don't have to look like you, is what you're saying.
Exactly, man. Exactly.
That's a beautiful message, man.
Yeah.
And that underlying message right there. And last question is, since we're at Geek Leets, esports, how did video gaming influence your life growing up, man?
Man, okay, so all right, I'll try to make this quick. I was terrible at video games. Like I'm the kid that still cannot finish Super Mario Brothers, the original, man. Like I could never get past about 5. But my cousins, they played it a lot, and I loved watching the skill that they did in that. And what I realized about gaming, right? Gaming is an interesting thing. It actually is a very, very strategic skill to have, to understand how to navigate things and to see things and to hand-eye coordination, right? Like A, B, up, down. I'm like, what? Well, so even now using man, the people that do this is amazing. When you watch people on 2K or anything like that, I'm like,
man.
Yeah,
they've produced a lot of pro athletes out of Geek Leagues back.
Right, man.
In the last few years.
It's real, and I was telling a student today actually that, you was in the military, right? Mm-hmm. Like that, you can be in the Air Force if you know how to game, because the joystick and the button, that's
yes, sir.
You can control. That's where the future is at, man. You can literally be someone who works for NASA because you know how to be gaming, and you can send a robot to the moon and navigate a robot from this chair. So, I was terrible for this. Is my passion, using my mic, but
But you
shout out to
definitely see-
shout out to those, man. Shout out to those. It's definitely a career for there.
Yeah, oh yeah, man, and many careers within that, man. So I'm glad you can see the future of gaming, especially because you work with so many youth, man. I'm noticing from doing this podcast here and the relationship building with Geek Leads, how many of our youth game, and when you can speak to them in their language of gaming or the games that they play and love,
Oh man,
it opens a whole nother gateway up to mentor them through video games, just that conversation.
right.
So they respect
Right.
you on a whole nother level too. Man.
They do.
Even if
They
even
do.
if you can't play, like I'm guilty too, man. I'm not the best either, but I know I could become the best if I put the time and effort into it, but I just don't have that right now. Working on it.
Exactly. Well,
Hey,
shout out
man,
to Geek Leagues. Yeah. Hey, when we can finally go back to some new normal, I want to bring some young people here, workshop, man. This is an amazing space, 15,000 square feet of just pleasure, man. This is amazing.
Yeah, man. And the first African American owned esports arena in the state of Texas.
I
Man.
love that, man. Shout out, man. See,
Shout out,
that's what I'm talking about, man.
They're doing here. Yeah, that's what it's
Yeah.
about, man. This is how we show people how our black is beautiful, man. This is what it's all about, and supporting each other. That's what we.
There you
This
go.
is the lesson I hope everybody's getting out of these times right now, man. Everything going on. And this is just the beginning, man. They already have a Fort Worth location that's at 25,000 square feet, and Arlington's coming with another 25,000. So it's serious. Esports taking off, and the curriculum in the school districts they're already being adopted. They're having esports teams like
Wow.
your regular football, basketball, baseball, volleyball teams. Now you got an esports team. So Dallas ISD already adopted that, and others have been following suit, if not ahead of the curve. So yeah, man, it's powerful. So we definitely talk more about that. But I look forward to All Stars Project doing something here too, because I think they really love it. It's part of entertainment. So
Yeah, man. Thank you, man.
Yeah.
Well, tomorrow
Thank you.
night, man. Tomorrow night, DJ Chaotic,
Sir.
Antoine R.L. Joyce. See you at the virtual dance party, y'all.
Bam. Y'all tune in. Y'all plug in. We'll see you tomorrow. Thank you again to my brother Antoine Joyce for coming on the MentorConnector podcast today, y'all. This has been another great episode here on the Geek Leads Esports Masterclass. I'm your host, King David Reeves. Antoine Joyce, we're out. Love y'all. Later.
Coming to you live from Geek League Studios.